Hello everyone, this is Fantastic Worlds, welcoming you back to Lovecraft Country and our journey through the Secret World Legends. Now, the last thing before taking off to the Savage Coast is that we still have a few missions from the good Reverend Hawthorne, a couple of mysteries to solve. Now, the first one I'm going to run you through. I tried doing it, recording it blind, but it is notorious for how bizarre it can be to try to solve. So, I'm going to run you through the steps of how to do this one, and then try to do the next one blind. And if I have to say this again before the next one, so be it. But, in the meantime, let's talk to the good Reverend. The Kingsmith Code. Yes, this will be about going through a bad Dan Brown story. Are there any good Dan Brown stories? As an epicenter of early Illuminati history in the New World, Kingsmith is full of signs and symbols. Understand their hidden message could unearth ancient secrets left by Illuminati fathers. Henry Hawthorne said the founding father of Kingsmith left clues to forgotten secrets all over town. Follow the traces of Illuminati to uncover their mysteries.
Kingsmith is a book of secrets, an illuminated manuscript waiting for those who would read between the lines. I've seen it spelled out, the hidden truth of this blighted Garden of Eden. For are we not seekers of knowledge, you and I? Even a man of God can have his eyes open to further enlightenment and illumination. To be illuminated under the eye. The pyramid? The Illuminati. I'm with the Illuminati. I don't have a badge or anything like that. I'm what you might call a hobbyist member. But I earned it. I did extensive research on the net. The code words I followed led me to forums. Secret forums. Forums that don't show up on Google. And I'm an avid poster. A valued poster. I know there are paths in Kingsmith not on any map. The work of the Illuminati is everywhere. A secret gospel, chapter and verse throughout the town. Signs and formulae. That's why you're here, isn't it? Now, my work is not exhaustive. There are elements of our grand plan I may have overlooked. Tiny, tiny details still left unexplored. I trust we have each other's disclosure.
That's discretion, not disclosure. The way he thinks it sound like, I feel like Illuminati running 4chan. So, first things first. We follow the Illuminati symbols, and the first one we find is the manhole, so yes. Now, I've come to the conclusion... Keep it down, guys. Omni vinci lux. Victory forever light. I don't know that much Latin, I'll have to look it up later. But yes, as you can see, it's an arrow, so we follow the arrow to the next one, which makes us go down the streets, and I wonder if this is the same street I blew up. It is, it's recovered nicely, or the fires went out. Yes. And the thing is that apparently, I'm guessing the town's fathers are all still working for the Illuminati in some fashion, or perhaps had the information passed down, because these are manhole covers. They haven't been here since the 1700s. I mean, if you really come down to it, I'm not sure how long we've had sewers. Hello. But they have to be replaced periodically as well, so they have to have these custom-made... These custom-made sewer covers made every, I don't know, decade at least. Depends on how quickly they rust out. Oh, wait. Right, this way. Oop, give me a second. Get that down. Alright. The plaque. Right. In the seat of power, the navigator immortalized, illuminating the path to the sleeping priest and Fletcher. Memory of Franz Hals, who perished in light, 1580 to 1666. One of them is who was burned alive. Notice the symbols are a telescope, a lighthouse, a telescope, a inkwell with quill pen, of course, and a navigator's globe. Find the location mentioned in this message. Now, the seat of power. Now, remember what I said about the town fathers would have to be members of the Illuminati. You think about it. I'm just going to grab some ammo while I'm here. We'll be back to see Andy sooner or later. He could probably use the ammo. But let me switch over to which mission we're currently doing. There we go. But yeah, the seat of power for a small town is the town hall, of course. That is where the mayor lives. Or doesn't live, really, technically. Excuse me, ugly. Thud. Yeah, not the mayor. Sorry, where the mayor resides and the town council meets, and they have meetings to determine, you know, who's going to replace this super secret manhole covers. I mean, seriously, who came up with this? And what did they do before they had manhole covers? They just have little signs with symbols on them saying, you know, go this way. And this is the town hall. Now, you'll note that in the town hall there are these pictures. And why I would really love a first-person point of view. I mean, really love a first-person point of view on this sort of thing. Unfortunately, we don't got it. So I got to get up really close to see this. But, like I said before, this is not a blind run. I know which one I'm looking for, the navigator. And as you notice, if you squinch in real good, there we go, is that you can see that there is the globe, the ink well, and quill pen, and I think that's the third object there. And there's even sort of a lighthouse thing behind him. Now, we activate this. Oh! The time is the province of kings and gods. The hands of times points to truth written by kings in the words of God. The path is open to the enlightened. Okay, so yeah, this is where things get even weirder. Now you'll note there's a clock here set at 10:10. Now that, and this clock is, well, it's not a clock. But anyways, Lux Omnivicio, it's actually the town's motto. No, the county motto. Oh, so this is both the county seat and the town seat. Fascinating. Anyways, yeah, well, what could that possibly mean? And here's where things get a little silly. Well, first of all, from the original message, we got that we are looking for priests. So, right next to the church is the rectory, which is also known in the sign out here as the priest house. Now, you can be forgiven for believing that that one is actually doable as a puzzle. It is there. You just have to pay attention. The Solomon Priest House. Solomon Priest being the founder of Kingsmith. But here's the hidden location right here. There is the secure keypad. Now, do you want to try to guess how you know what this number is? You have to guess that when it said that time and kings and the gods, the words of God, means the Bible, Book of Kings, 10:10. In which case it references the number in archaic form of 120. Right. Totally and completely understandable. I mean, I don't see about anybody could possibly get that one wrong. But let's go in the basement. This is where it gets even sillier. The Illuminati Cellar. Did we keep the wine in there too? Here we are in the Illuminati Cellar. And you think, okay, we do store the wine in here. Wow. Guessing it's a sacramental wine, but I wonder how much Henry has it on a regular basis. But yeah, Henry thinks he's a member of Illuminati, but he's just a fanboy at the Illuminati uses. Got to admit, though, that this is probably his place. It's probably the rectory, given that he's the priest. And he's got a lot of books in here. And this is the real world, I'd be looking through all the spines of these. Little music. You know, he's an old-fashioned guy. Tape deck. You know, no CD player for him. And the Illuminati computer, which is in the Illuminati basement. Yep. Requires root permission. Light conquers all. That's what that particular Latin phrase means. Being, of course, the super secret password that is the motto to the town hall written in plain public. Yeah, it's kind of not right to do that sort of thing. So it makes me wonder if they're actually even trying to hide these things. Let's see. Lux Omnia Vincit. Light conquers all. Caps lock is off. Doesn't seem to care. Okay, so we want to view archives. Oh. And we gotta do the password again. It'd be really cool if there was something here for the archives, but I'm guessing they're offline for security purposes. Now, okay, access secure artifacts. And there we go. Yes, the Illuminati. Okay, we're assuming the Illuminati and the Good Reverend are... Sorry, the Town Council and the Good Reverend are members of the Illuminati. That's understandable. They could be useful stooges. After all, they're still looking off. These were Illuminati headquarters. They've got a lot of stuff buried here they don't want anybody to find. So they're going to have agents here. Probably not very high agents. So apparently, however, they decided to store some artifacts here. The Eye of the Pyramid, the Phoenix, and the Pyramid symbols. Now, as things are happening here, it's probably best if we start evacuating the items of power. We don't want Beaumont or any other agent to get a hold of them. So let's see what we've got Kirsten's got to say about this. If you wanted keys to the family basement, you just had to ask, though it was super cute watching you solve our puzzles. As it should be apparent by now, we have a thing for labyrinths and pointless riddles. Stems from healthy cultivation of paranoia, malice, and wit. That said, we may be Illuminati puzzles in the future that we don't have answers to. Our historical archives are incomplete. Many Kingsmouth records were charred in the fire of 1712. Now, we've come across indications of that fire in the lore nuggets. And if I go back and... I've got an idea of going back and checking off lore when I complete the actual things, rather than scattershot, picking up pieces and reading them to you. We'll see about that. And the digital transfer of compromised ancient material never goes seamlessly regarding what Cassini may have you believe. Chow chow. So apparently you can't digitize the Necronomicon, which I'm probably rather happy about. Anyway, so that's the first of the mysteries that we're going to solve today, and I will skip ahead to the next. Alright, then now on to the next mission, digging deeper. When the Illuminati founded Kingsmouth, they didn't only raise a town, they dug deeper into the ground as well, carving secret passageways that echo to this day. Find the tunnels beneath Kingsmouth and discover where they lead. Henry Hawthorne says you can hear the hollowed out tunnels while walking down Main Street. Track down these echoes of the Illuminati.
Ah, there's a glint to your eyes that I recognize from the bathroom mirror. You've walked Kingsmouth's secret trails, yes? What was it like? Was it illuminating? Were you enlightened? If it weren't for circumstance and my duty to the Lord, I would join you, document your expedition. Although, those are not the only paths. Some run deeper, more hidden. Tap your foot on any paving stone down Main Street, and you might hear the echo of Illuminati history. Oh yes, Solomon Priest and Isaac Fletcher put this soil to work when they raised Kingsmouth above and below. Why, the whole of Solomon County is positively riddled with tunnels. But I wouldn't expect most people to notice. They're too enclosed by their simple lives to comprehend the secret world around them. Below them. You can't stop now. I know that feeling intimately. The desire to keep digging. That glint won't fade. The restlessness in your heart won't slow. The voices won't fall silent. Dig further. Dig deeper. Always deeper.
Yeah. Creepy face. I don't think I want to go to any of his sermons. Right then, find the entrance to the Illuminati tunnels. He said, check out Main Street. And this is Main Street. No loitering. So we are listening for sounds. Okay. Again, we gotta ask ourselves these things. Are we... Wait, what? Okay. So, that actually makes sense to have the entrance to the secret tunnels right in front of the council house, or, you know, the town hall where the council meets. So, they can slip in the middle of the night. Ooh, there you go. Did we just tear up the sidewalk? Okay, find a way to open the trapdoor. Clavis Aurea. Clavis Aurea. No, that would be too easy. Okay, so I had to look up Latin. The clavisory means golden key, and I'm guessing that we can probably find one here, because remember my theory that this particular entrance is for the town council, which is kind of like the Illuminati Mickey Mouse Club, or fan club, or something. I don't think that these are it. Ah, a golden key. So the king, hiding in plain sight, alright. So yeah, these guys aren't big on real security, but then considering how bad I've pointed out the Illuminati security is at New York, I'm really not surprised. Okay, so let's tear up the pavement again. Apparently it regenerates. So, from the Illuminati basement to Illuminati tunnels. I wonder if they connect. Okay, once again, going to have to cheat a little on this. I've tried doing the puzzles over and over again, the blind fashioned way, but it was taking way too long, and it happens to kill you. Now first, if you travel straight to the end, take left, you'll notice this aged book. Now, this was going to give you some clues for the future. A man who seeks enlightenment should set himself in motion. He shall show appreciation for the exhortation of his fellows, and make as a church-going man does before holy symbols. He shall show great disdain for the trappings of old empire, and avert his gaze from schemes coiled and chaotic. Alright, so after that clue, well, let's head down. Do this tunnel, left from when you enter. As you can see, the Illuminati like to make really extensive underground fortification, underground facilities long before the labyrinth came around. My guess is this is the original version of the tunnels we work out of in New York. Ah, here we go. Now, the plaque says Oculus rare avis. Now, I actually know a little Latin. This means eye and rare bird. So, if you recall from the amulets we just got before, this was called the amulet of the eye. And this, the amulet of the bird. Or type of bird anyways. And ta-da! We have now entered into the tomb with Solomon Priest. Interesting. Kind of a Egyptian feel to it, isn't there? Well, that is kind of an odd thing. Did the Illuminati come from Egypt originally? In any case, this page is the only thing you find in the coffin of confession, penned in the year of the eye. Apparently not God-fearing people, despite what Henry thinks. 1702, Kingsmouth Town. One might consider this an admission to 2 acts of cowardice and also of bad faith within the enlightened order, and as such I shall see to it this missive once written is sequestered with my own corpse. So if this priest, my time on this earth runs short, and much is left to be undertaken. By this I mean the order, and by our third, but more than that in a piece. The remains of Solomon Priest removed at my instruction by loyal men who fashioned for him a new rest within the tunnels. On this matter, I declare my reasoning was to prevent our enemies and consorts alike from digging too deeply. Title drop. The tale to the new tomb shall die with my retainers and myself, so shall die any looter or gawker seeking to negotiate its trap should they not hold enlightened knowledge. Okay, so what he's saying is that we have, I'll take these back. Never know if we might need them again. So what he's saying is that after taking all this effort to build these tunnels and create the tomb, they decided that they were just going to build more. So let's head over here to the right. Or we don't. I guess it's this way. I mean, there is a reason they call these things labyrinths. Ah, here we go. This door, which is, as you see, right from the primary entrance. And here we go again. Of Khufufu of the Grand Lodge. Now, as I noted before, well, first of all, Khufufu was a pharaoh, so I'm guessing that's the pyramid. And the lodge, the Masons, this is their symbol. Ta-da! And now we're in. Now, I did this one up to this point myself, blind. Ooh, and, here are probably the paintings of all the old masters and the books. Any lore in here? The perfect place to stack some... Ooh, yeah. Did you notice there's a Indiana Jones style trap here? With a lost note that says, to proceed right as a learned man would, look to Jerome's work on 2score and first palm, the 8th part, the first darkness. Perfectly logical, right? Because what it's referring to is one of the Psalms. The Psalm, I believe, 42, if you take all the numbers together. And the word that starts it is darkness. But you obviously can't spell darkness here. Even though English was around, they were still using Latin. So the term for darkness is abyssius, which has got 2 S's. So it may sound a little weird, but you have to jump there to spell it properly. Come back here, and then come back to the S. And there we are. Next trap open. Now here's the one that truly and utterly sucks. Lore? Lore? You know, for a library, you've certainly got so little lore when it comes to these things. Now, another logical note here. Should those desires be thwarted, weep not for themselves, but the Redol and Dandai. Perfectly, perfectly understandable, isn't it? Let's add it with this sheet music. And whatever that is. Now, if you take an extended Google trip, you can find out what it is. It's the... it's from the sheet music of a score called Flow My Tears by John Dundee, which the covered over portion you have to discover. Now, of course, I tried my best to pull this off, but I kept getting killed, so I had to look this one up. Sorry. It's just... sometimes you have to be expedient. What you do is you actually select the type of note, which is listed here, which, you know, if you strain your eyes, you might be able to see, plus the note that's associated with it. A. Now the next one, this note plus E. Now this type of note, E again. And the third lever again, G. And 3. And G. That do it? No? Great. Sigh. Did it move? No? And G. That's kind of cool. Well, at least we've got some good music. Now, if you remember, we're supposed to do the proper sort of obeisance to each statue. Now, for example, it said that the deception coiled snake, obviously. So we'll go to our emotes and we look around for... where is it? Where does avert come from? Cartwheel, no. Crossed arms. Ah, cover eyes. There it is. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, so apparently the order has to be precise. So... let's see. I guess applause came first. What do we got here? There we go. Excellent, excellent. Then pray. There we go. We got that proper. Now spit upon the Reaper. That actually something I'd recommend doing. I gotta remember I can do that. And now we cover our eyes. Gangnam Style? When did they add that? Ah, there we go. And what do... Well, first of all, any lore chunks? Probably not, given the track record so far. Hey. Oh, these books. No time to read them. And now we find the true coffin of Solomon Priest and some dude who just lying here dead. Let's see if you know what else thing he says. To the second part. Good. You move out of the way there. Yeah, then the reason for this deception is that I did take this man's life all true. I did poison him as rumors have long circulated and likely shall continue, for truly it was less than active murder as in martyring. For though I assumed his duties, I performed them with hollow ritual, and as his name is remembered, mine remains in his considerable shadow. In the 1 score of years since my fateful act, I have come to accept this was always my rightful place, and in seeking to unseat him, I did only seal it forevermore. The third knew of my treachery, of this I am certain, even though he remains in London. Now finally, as I breathe my last, he comes to America with designs for the order in New York. Isaac Fletcher, Governor of Kingsmouth. Oh, thanks. Grand Master of the Illuminated Lodge. So, what can we learn from all of this? It's quite simple. The Illuminati has been batshit from the beginning. See, Fletcher and Priest, Solomon Priest and this dude Fletcher, were the two people who founded Kingsmouth in the name of the Illuminati, essentially creating a colony in the 1600s here, because the Illuminati was having issues over in Europe with dealing with the Templars, because the Templars were the dominant power in Europe, and the Illuminati were just essentially starting out. So once they managed to establish the colony here, they planned to come over and make it into a great and powerful thing, which it did eventually. But when we talked to Kristen way back in the interludes, if you saw the interludes, links up there, what happened is that she was absolutely right. She said that the Illuminati in this time were constantly betraying each other, and even refers to somebody slipping rat poison in to their somebody's drink. So the deal is that the reason the Illuminati actually succeeded is that they outlawed this sort of thing. Sure, they can send us on near suicide missions, and she does on a constant basis, but it was weakening the structure, and this is the example of why it was. There were 3 Grand Masters, and one killed the other and then essentially died himself, leaving all the power to the third, and that third did not get that power legitimately. So, for all we know, he could have been just as bad as these guys, and somebody else made the Illuminati what it is today. I mean, look at all of this. All of this information, all of this power, all of this art, and it's just sitting here rotting. So that's essentially Illuminati in a nutshell. All of this power and no purpose. I mean, perhaps the end of the world is essentially the best thing that ever happened to them. Because at least they have a purpose now. And of course, let's get Kristen's view on this. What are you, internal affairs? Allow me to satisfy any future curiosity you may have about the contents of our closets. They are full of dead guys. Try to understand, in the early days of Solomon Island, we were re-establishing and modernizing. Success called for stability and corporate order. If that meant burying certain acts of jealousy, so be it. Of course, some historical facts are more sensitive than others. Do your best to forget any mention of a third in this. Digging into that little tidbit would likely get the attentions of the magicians. Fun fact, magicians do more than magic. Okay, speaking of investigations and hard-to-find missions, if you come out to this beach at the far end where you went to in one of Norma's early missions, and you come all the way down to the very corner of the map, there's this hidden cave right here. It's got these Illuminati wards on it. And in the middle of it is an ancient idol. Idol of Nurgle. Well, somebody was a World of Warcraft fan. Not World of Warcraft. God, I'm an idiot. Warhammer 40k. Or Warhammer in general fantasy. Anyways, stashed inside the small cave warded by an Illuminati symbols is an artifact, an idol, gray with age. It radiates old power, not of the good kind. Hidden behind wards, protected by magic, has been left alone for hundreds of years. Although you could just walk in and take it. Illuminati security, again, does not prove to be effective. There must be a reason why the idol was hidden away like this, but in these times, all items of power should be controlled or destroyed. Okay, so we're going to pick up the idol. We're going to leave the cave. And its guardians appear. Unfortunately, fortunately, I've quite experience in killing dead people. I'd imagine if it was some poor kid who found the idol, you know, wandering in the cave, they would have torn him apart and put it back in place. Ugh. I don't have time right now, I'm sorry. But yes, let's go borrow Norma Creed's bonfire, shall we? Even burning evil beings in here. I'm pretty sure this concentration of horrible, horrible, horrible dark magic won't have any negative effects. There we go. Kirsten, I am so not in the mood to be dealing with Akkadian hell gods now. The New England coast is filled with caches from the Prohibition era. After Prohibition, we started using them to stockpile certain kinds of artifacts, the kinds we weren't able to find an effective manual for. Others, like the Idol of Nurgle, are just destined to be destroyed. Ciao, ciao. Okay, but while we're here, Norma still has one more mission for us. You'll notice that second icon right there. And it is an investigation one. Something wicked. Norma recalls a series of murders in the summer of 2002. She never believed the story served up by the news, and she said the real culprit wasn't even human. A case of multiple murders in a small town like Kingsmouth might have made widely discussed in the newspapers. Find more information about the case. Now, if you recall, and you saw the episode referenced before, if you saw the Interlude 2, which should have come out by now, link up there if it has, when you interrogate Andy during his dialogue, he mentions that there was a serial killer, a multiple killer, but he didn't feel right about it. Now, apparently Norma has the same issue, so let's talk to her about it.
There's a pressure building, the kind that comes before a storm when it builds and builds but just won't break. Yeah, the ravens, they feel it too. Last time I saw them like this, when the trees were more birds than branches, there were murders. Yeah, that was back in 2002, tail end of a long and wicked hot summer. By August, the whole town smelled rotten, and we hadn't seen a drop of rain since June. When the storm finally broke and the ravens flew, the killing stopped. Never believed what the paper wrote about that vagrant, neither did Helen, despite those boys in city council leaning on her. Well, she took a beating. Could have hurt her career, but she was right. Wasn't human hands cut those girls open. An unkindness of ravens, isn't that what they call it? My idea of reading is the TV guide, not anything that could charitably be called literature. But even I know signs and portents when I see them.
Okay then, find more information about the murders. Now, to those people who don't live in small towns, to those people who are used to the internet culture, to those who are younger than millennial, let me educate you about what town records are. Town records are this massive pile of files that people stick information into and forget about it until somebody smart enough to want to find something of that period goes to look for it. You know, it's kind of like the old card system for the Dewey Decimal System for libraries, but for other types of information. Now, let's see. Whoops. My apologies. You'd figure with all the time I've spent in this town, I would have figured out where Main Street is by now. Pardon me, no loitering. Thank you. So, yep, this is Lovecraft Lane. I think I might borrow that name for something in the future. Susie's Diner, you know, the best undead waitress on the East Coast. And I think this is Main Street. Personal space, dude. Now here's the town hall. Now, one of the things that's interesting is Town Hall was listed as one of the survivor holding points, but you notice why it was abandoned and the doors left open. There's no sign of struggle, no blood. So why did everybody leave? Let's see. I'm going to test a theory. Nope. I was wondering if it was warded like the church, but apparently that's not the issue. So why did they leave? Why did they just open the doors and leave? I mean, there's signs of paperwork, but if you remember, during the retreat, the Dr. Bannerman, he left behind us paperwork scattered everywhere. So it's signs of a retreat, but it's not signs of a struggle. So why give up? I mean, the building is defensible. It has only one main entrance, and if you secure that, you've got all this territory to move in. Maybe it was just too close to the water. Anyways, so, yes, these are the town records, and we want the ones that are from 2002, so let's give it a look. Okay. You mean... Oh, it's interesting. And maybe these are the papers that are scattered about. Oh, here we go. Killer charge. Transient farmhound Larry Checkan has been formally charged in the murders of the Kingsmith girls. Redacted. Townies who have been holding an all-night vigils in Elm gave an emotional response to the announcement this morning, and it marks the end of a summer of horror that has gripped our little town for 3 months, and a state police manhunt making mainland news. Sheriff Bannerman would not make a further comment on the case ahead of the state press briefing. She has, however, asked the townies to remain calm while justice works its course. We at the Chronicle know many of our readers have questioned the efficiency of the Solomon County Sheriff's Office, but we timed those questions in the months following the trial. So, Larry Checkan. Now this actually brings apart a dynamic of the Kingsmith Town Council. Now, you have to remember, they're old school Illuminati, so they're keeping all the secrets for the more modern version here, although they seem to be completely unaware of just how much they've mutated in the process. So, let's go check out the police records, shall we? But yeah, the thing is that Helen's an honest person caught up on all of this. So whenever she's actually trying to do, law and order and justice and all of that, she gets shite for it. But on the other hand, they can't fire her because she's, well, both A, popular, B, she does a lot of good work. I mean, the Illuminati know that you have to have law and order. You have to have somebody who's going to keep the town running, and Helen's good at that. She just is too honest to be part of some, conspiracy. Right then. So, what we want is a suspect database. Larry Checkan, there he is. Okay, Solomon County Police Department, number 2002-166, closed. Subject, death of subject Checkan Larry in custody. Alone with suspect at 1 a.m. Went over his full written confession for redacted. Multiple inconsistencies with his story and event, including redacted. You asked my ghost for the truth, Sheriff. Checkan took his own life in the cell between the hours of 4 and 5 a.m. Discovered at 7 a.m. Scene already redacted. All outstanding work on investigation to be closed. Now, again, did he commit suicide? The Illuminati just remove him because he's in fact not the villain. Now, it says it wants me to examine the cell, but I can't do so. But here is where things get a little tricky. Remember, we're not human and we're immortal, but this body is constructed out of anima, which basically means that if we wanted to revisit the spirit world, we can just remove it. Yeah, so here we are, dead again. Man, we make good time in the spirit world. No. Yeah, and you notice that here we are, the door is open, and here is the ghost. We can't actually talk to him, but he has written a clue for us. The white ravens whisper golden girls' sorrowful secrets are never told. Now, white ravens whisper golden girls' sorrowful secrets are never... 7 for a secret never to be told. I think that's from the Counting Crow song, which means it's from the nursery rhyme. Find out what the cryptic... Bannerman is hot. Alright, if you're in the MILFs, that works. Nope, because we need to stay in the spirit world. Notice the white raven. Okay, now this is a bug. Basically, it's supposed to lead us to a particular place in order to be able to solve the rest of the riddle, so I'm going to fast travel there. Okay, so you're supposed to follow the ravens till you find a line of them here, which is about around the pumpkin patch over there. So,
One for sorrow,
what happens is, yes,
6 for gold, 5 for silver,
see, do you remember that rhyme I was referring to from the Counting Crows, which obviously is from a much, much earlier nursery rhyme?
4 for a boy, 2 for joy,
See, these birds are reciting
7
it.
for a secret, never to be told, 3 for a girl, 7 for a secret, 2 for joy, never to be told.
Well, you can't, like, run down the line or they start echoing each other. But you're supposed to remember the
1 for
riddle
sorrow,
that you were given at the cell.
6 for gold,
Okay, so it was gold. What am I doing to that bird?
1 for sorrow,
It was Gold Girl's Sorrow Secret, I think.
5 for silver, 4 for a boy, 2 for joy, 7 for a secret, never to be told, 3 for a girl,
Okay, girl.
7 for a secret, 2 for joy to be told, 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 1 for sorrow,
Sorrow. Trying to... And then secret.
4 for a boy, 2 for joy, 7 for a secret, never to be told.
Let's find out that secret is. To find...
Jack the lad? You found him.
Ah, so this is the true killer that vagrant was pinned upon, and so he's in the pumpkin patch, and his name is Jack.
Additional assignment received.
Oh,
Initializing.
here we go. Jack, lantern, level 50. Let's give you the ice beam. Did that not affect you? That's not good. What the heck? What the heck was that? Okay, I'm guessing Jack's not one of those things you can just kill, run off, so yes. Kristen says, you had Zern worried there. I reminded him you're expendable, but I admit it's very good to have you back. Redeploying some of this stage would be such a bitch. There's a number of murders in Kingsmith that points to Jack's unique physiognomy. I wouldn't bore you with the tragic details. Boy flees famine, boy works on Magus' farm, Magus' daughter dies, Magus tears boy into pumpkin patch. The moral of the story, Kingsmith is not a good place to die, so try not to. Okay. That's a little freaky. So yeah, there is a completely unrelated to the Dreamer invasion manifestation of evil living in this pumpkin patch. It's been here. I need to get up there and get that. It's been living here for who knows how long. So yeah, even before the dimensional barriers were brought, even before the Illuminati arrived, there has been dark presences. Just here waiting in the woods of Kingsmith. And if you're not careful, you just might find one. This has been Fantastic Worlds, and I'll see you next episode. This has been the final Kingsmith episode, and we're moving on to the Savage Coast after this, so get ready to continue our chase to Beaumont and discover the secret of the fog.
You will see the dawning of a new age. To be a monarch or a beggar. To lose everything or to become a god. To stand with us or against us. The choice is yours.